Hey everybody, welcome to week 12 of the PBL. I am Evan, head coach of the Saffron City Sneasels, and this week I am taking on Cheryl of the Safari Zone Weedles. I was very excited for this match going into it. Cheryl and I have had quite a bit of trash talk leading up to this match. I guess it was more one-sided, me trash talking her. I did declare our friendship temporarily over leading up to this match. This was an interesting match. Before you see what you're going to see, Cheryl and I played about 25 minutes of a match before we had a disconnect. The disconnect was really unfortunate. We both had taken out one of each other's Pokemon, and neither of us were happy about it. For my side, I felt that I was in the lead when we had the disconnect because I also had statused two of her Pokemon that were still alive, and one of her Pokemon was almost fainted, and I was looking pretty healthy. From her side, she was upset that I basically got to see the sets of most of her Mons where she had pretty much only seen two of my Pokemon. So neither of us were very happy, and we didn't really know what we wanted to do about it. So we ended up settling on just doing a clean restart, 6v6. We could start with new Mons if we wanted, and that's what you're going to see here. Alright, let's get into it. So, prepping for this match, I definitely need to make sure I had answers from Magearna, and I definitely did. So, Magearna was going to easily be walled by my Rotom Heat, and that was going to be kind of the backbone of my strategy. I open with 3-Peat to hopefully get some rocks up, but she starts out with her Meloetta, which I know as Focus Blast from the previous 25-minute match. She goes out to Rowdy Bish. The Pangoro I protect to see if she's going to go for a U-turn, because I'm almost certain that she is Choice Scarfed. She just switches out, so I end up having to switch out to Rage Quit, so I can hopefully take a knockoff or a Drain Punch. I do take that knockoff very well. I lose my leftovers, which is a little annoying, but not too big of a deal. I will be forcing out because of my flying and fairy typing, and I'm pretty certain that she's going to switch. I do go for the Air Slash just to play it safe, though, and she goes out to the Bad Bish. Not too big of a surprise there. It was a good switch on her part, and I'm going to hop right back out to Betty Crocker, the answer to Magearna, and you're going to see right here why Betty Crocker is such a good answer. This is a max special attack Magearna, and that did almost nothing. And then the leftovers are going to turn that to even less significant of damage. I was using a max HP, max special defense Rotom Heat, and Rotom Heat is able to tank almost anything a Magearna could throw. I'm going to resist the Fairy moves, the Steel moves, the Electric moves, the Ice moves, and the only thing that's really going to hurt me would be like an Aura Sphere or Focus Blast or something, but even then it still does less than half. So she goes out to Ugly Bish to threaten with the water typing, but I'm electric typing and I'm faster, so I'm going to Volt Switch on out of there. And I'm feeling very good about where I'm at right now. I feel pretty certain from the first 25-minute start that Blastoise does not have a fighting move or a hidden power move, so I can go out to Ferrothorn very easily and get my rocks up. She's going to switch out here to her Rowdy Bish, which is a natural switch in because fighting beats steel, obviously. So I get the rocks up. Rocks are going to be very important for me this match, and this is quite a long match, so the rocks are going to put in a lot of work throughout this one. She immediately double switches to go out to the Stuck Up Bish, and I switch out. I don't remember who I switch out to. I go out to Rage Quit. Okay, so I make the predictable switch here, and she tried to make the double switch, but I still win this exchange, so she just has to U-turn out of here. I think, and she gets the crit. That did not matter. I think I go for the Thunder Wave here. She knows that I've got Thunder Wave, but she doesn't have a ton of options here. I go for the Thunder Wave on the Magearna, which makes me very happy because this is what I got in the false start of our matchup, and I was happy to return to that state of things. I'm going to switch out, fearing Flash Cannon, of course, and back out to Betty Crocker. There are no rocks on my side of the field, so I can just keep going in. She's paralyzed, which is a little unfortunate for her. It doesn't matter too much for me because I could take anything she would hit. The only thing that would really cause a problem for her is if she was trying to Volt Switch and get some momentum. Out comes Ugly Bish again. Maybe not the best play because she has seen that I can always get out of there without suffering much. But she might be going, I was thinking she might be going for the Rapid Spin. I'm going to just get that light screen up once again. Protect my side from special attacks. Preserve my Pokemon. And then I'm going to Volt Switch on out of here. I believe she does go for the Rapid Spin here. And that Ugly Bish is pretty weak here. Yeah, I go back out to the 3-peat because I figure if you're going to Rapid Spin, 1, I'm going to make you take those Iron Barbs, and 2, I'm going to just try to get my rocks right back up. So, it deals 2 damage to me, and I deal more than that to her. And rocks, she's going to get basically 1 switch in before the rocks are right back up on the field. Definitely wanted to prioritize the rocks because of the fear I had for Mega Beedrill. And out comes the Rowdy Bish again. We are kind of in this cycle where it's kind of like the same 4 turns over and over again, but these turns are favoring me, so I'm very happy with it. And then for this next turn, I was definitely considering, should I go back out to Togekiss again? I figure she's probably expecting it, but she double switches this, I think, the 3rd time in a row to Stuck Up Bish. I protect this time instead of switching out because I wanted to see what was her play going to be. Is she scarfed, or is the Pangoro scarfed or banded? Now I go out for the Togekiss, and the Psychic is going to do not too much damage because of the light screen, and even without the light screen I know I can take another Psychic, or at least I'm pretty certain I can take another Psychic, so I'm just going to roost this off. I go down to 22 HP, not too bad, and I'm going to heal up more than I took, so that tells me that I can keep playing this defensive sort of roosting game, but you're going to see here that that's not what I end up going for. I go for the Thunder Wave because I know I'll be faster after the Paralyze, and then I can choose to either roost first, or I can start going for those Air Slashes. I go for the roost this time. I want to preserve the Togekiss because it is my go-to answer for Pangoro, and without it I'd have to rely on some other stuff which would not be as consistent. So yeah, I take another Psychic, and again, not too big of a deal, and she switches out to Lazy Bish, Pokemon I was very worried about. This thing is what kind of keeps my Koko off the field for a lot of the match. I don't want to risk getting stopped in its tracks by the ground typing, and I do have HP Grass, but it does not even 2-hit KO the Hippodon. It was really just if I needed to finish something off, or if she brought Rhyperior, which she didn't. So I get my Roost, and I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I do know that I have 1 easy switch in on the Lazy Bish, which would be my 3-peat, the Ferrothorn, because I scouted earlier in our first fall start, and there was no Fire Fang. She was running Ice Fang, Stealth Rock, Slack Off, and I'm not sure the other move. I think it was Earthquake. I'm honestly not certain. I don't know if I ever see it in this match. Might even be Toxic. So she gets her rocks up, which means Togekiss is going to struggle a little bit more than before. But still, not a huge deal. I'm going to just go out for the Leech Seed here. I already got my rocks up. I wasn't going to go with the Power Whip here because, 1, it wouldn't do enough, and 2, I didn't think she would stay in with the Hippodon. So I'm getting that Leech Seed recovery. The Sandstorm's going to be helping me out. And then she switches again to Ugly Bish, trying to, I assume, get rid of rocks one last time. But her Sandstorm's going to take her own Pokemon out, which was great for me. The rocks definitely contributed to that. However, I think in the stat book, that is going to go down as a self-KO. Not a big deal. And now out comes the Rowdy Bish with a free switch. And I'm going to jump out of here. And I'm going to go to the Rage Quit. And I'm going to take this Stealth Rock damage, which isn't going to be very fun. And then here comes the knockoff. She's definitely trying to play it safe. She knows I'm not going to let my Ferrothorn take that fighting move. And here I assume I'm faster, but she does switch out to Bad Bish. And what do I do here? Okay, I just go for the Roost. because with the stealth rocks and no leftovers, I really need the recovery, because I don't have a way to remove hazards on my team this week. Even though I normally always do bring somebody that has hazard removal, this week I just prioritize other stuff. So here comes Betty Crocker, also taking that unfortunate stealth rock damage. And the floor cannon's going to do not too much damage. Better yet, the special defense is going to, or the special attack is going to drop by 2 stages, so I can do whatever the hell I want with Betty Crocker. And I figure she's going to have to switch here, so what do I want to do? Do I want to throw out an overheat, or do I want to get another light screen up, or do I want to volt switch and get the priority going, or the turn priority? Out comes the Mold Breaker, which was a good ability on her part, because it will be able, I think she was running Earthquake on this thing, so she could hit the Rotom Heat in the first place. I do go up for the Overheat, and I'm almost certain that I am faster. I don't think she's Scarfed. But I just to play it safe, I do switch out because I cannot risk losing my answer to Madeira. And I go out to Colgate, the Zygarde, because I will be able to take anything outside of an Ice Punch, and I haven't seen Ice Punch, so I don't think he's got it. The Drain Punch isn't going to recover much, and again, barring a Scarf, I will outspeed. But if it's a Scarf, I know she has to go Drain Punch, so I'm totally fine with the situation. And she's going to hop out to the Lazy Bish, which is the one thing that my Zygarde cannot really touch. I believe I just go for the 1,000 arrows, just trying to deal as much damage as possible. And it's not going to do too much. Lazy Bish has a very good defense, and I cannot hit it super effectively. The Ice Fang is going to hurt me a lot, so I'm going to have to switch out of here. So out comes 3-Peat again. 3-Peat does a lot of work this match, and I'll be able to tank this Ice Fang quite well, and he's going to suffer some damage for touching me. You should have known better than to have touched me. I recover with my leftovers. The Sandstorm does not affect me. My team is very resistant to sand. I've got multiple Steel types on my team. I've got a Rock type. I also have a Pokemon that's just immune to Sandstorm, so sand never bothers me, really. She brings out the Big D Bish, which was a bold switch in, and ends up paying off because I went for the Power Whip. Even if I had hit, it wouldn't have done much. I know Beedrill has very low defenses, but it probably would have done like an 1/8 to like a 1/6 of the HP, which, so it was a good switch in by her. I do miss anyway. She Mega Evolves. I think after this she looked at me and said, "Are you proud of me?" Because she often fails. Or earlier in the season, she failed to Mega Evolve. She's been on a Mega Evolving streak lately, Mega Evolving left and right with her Beedrill. I'd say she has mastered the art of clicking the Mega Evolve button. I go out for the Leech Seed because Big D Bish cannot really hurt me. I believe it does have Brick Break, but it's not Stab, so not a big deal for me. Here is the Brick Break, which I do need to keep in mind because I have been running Light Screen on my Rotom Heat. The Leech Seeds just continue keeping me nice and healthy, so I can check everything that I need to check. I'm going to switch out though because I don't want to take another Brick Break when I have what I would consider to be an easier switch with the Rage Quit. I do know that this is a risk because she could have tried to make an out prediction and go for the Poison Jab, but that would have been very, very bold on her part because if I didn't switch, she would have dealt no damage. So I felt pretty certain she wouldn't do it. So I get recovery, and I mean literally it was just for that one turn of stall because I couldn't protect 2 turns in a row with the 3-Peat. I'm going to hop right back out to the Ferrothorn and just keep Leech Seeding. So she goes for the Brick Break. I assume she predicted that, so that was a good play on her part. But once again, the Barbs and then the Leech Seed, that's going to finish off the Big D Bish. So that went exactly how I wanted it to. It probably looked a little unconventional, switching to a Togekiss, taking Stealth Rock damage and a hit, only to switch right back out. But in the end, it accomplished what I wanted it to, so I was happy with it. Out comes the Rowdy Bish again. Stealth Rocks deal a tiny bit of damage. I know I'm going to have to switch. I consider staying in and just protecting to get leftovers, but I decide it's not really worth it. And I go out to the Rage Quit, taking the Stealth Rock damage, and I figured this will probably be my last time that I need to tank something from this guy. But it goes for the Drain Punch instead of a different move, like a coverage move. I was worried about Gunk Shot or Bullet Punch, but I don't see either of those throughout the match. And seeing that, I figure, okay, maybe I can keep my Togekiss alive anymore. I don't need to sacrifice it right here, which I was totally prepared to do. So I do just Roost, feeling nice and comfortable. And she goes back out to the Magearna. Again, I've got that Rotom Heat to answer this thing. And I'm going to go right back out to it. Because that is its sole purpose. It's very important when you've got a check to a power Pokemon like Magearna that you don't waste your check on somebody else. I had opportunities to bring in Rotom Heat, and he could have done fairly well against Pokemon like Pangoro or Mega Beedrill, but you gotta prioritize what the biggest threat is, and for me it is the Magearna. So pretty much this is exclusively a Magearna thing. I get a little lucky here. I do stay in on the Meloetta because I was hoping to Pain Split, and I survived with 1 HP. I thought I'd survive with a little bit more because I am max special defense. It makes me wonder if she's Spexed. She's not Spexed, I believe she's Scarfed. Either way, I was super relieved with that. She switches out because she didn't get her KO, and she goes out to the Lazy Bish, getting the Sandstorm up again, which is fine by me because her Pangoro is pretty weak, and I got Stealth Rocks up. So I feel like the Sand's actually favoring me instead of her now. And I'm going to go out to Rocket the Latias because I do have Ice Beam to be able to hit this thing, and I've also got Healing Wish, which is going to be very important to keep my Rotom Heat alive. But first I go for the Ice Beam, and this does KO the Lazy Bish. Very happy with that. Exactly what I expected to happen. I don't think she felt comfortable switching anybody else in. Maybe she could have switched in the Magearna, because I couldn't really touch the Magearna. And now I'm just going to go for Healing Wish. I could switch out to the Rotom Heat, but with the Stealth Rocks, I would not have survived this one, probably. So I'm going to just kill myself here. Here's something that I did not know happened. Soul Heart, you get the special attack boost if a Pokemon just faints in the battlefield. You do not have to get the KO, unlike a Beast Boost or a Battle Bond. You just have to witness the faint. So I was shocked and a little upset by that. It did not actually end up mattering because I do get my Betty Crocker nice and healthy. And even at +1, I'm able to tank the Magearna. So I'm just going to go for the Overheat, and it will be able to 2-hit KO, barring any unfortunate misses. She is paralyzed, rubs salt in the wound, but it doesn't really matter because I would be able to tank a +1 Floor Cannon easily. I had calced that before the match. So yeah, the Overheat's going to finish off the Magearna, and now Betty Crocker has done its job. Feeling very comfortable with these last few turns here. I still have not brought out Coco. Coco does not make an appearance this match. He just did not have a reason to. So out comes the Rowdy Bish, taking the Stealth Rocks, breaking the mold. At this point, I believe I know I'm faster, but there's still that hesitancy. Like, I haven't gotten the confirmation of what Pangoro's speed was, because I haven't seen her use 2 different moves on a switch in yet. She goes for the Fire Punch, expecting me to go out to Ferrothorn, which was a strange prediction because I would not want to do that. Ferrothorn does not like the matchup against Rowdy Bish. So yeah, Togekiss gets the KO, and outspeeding there, I do realize, okay, it wasn't Scarf this whole time. I was playing around it, but I didn't really need to. And then Stuck Up Bish comes in at the very end, just to sort of take the last hit. And that's going to wrap up the match. Good game, Cheryl. It was a very clean one for me, after a very unfortunate disconnect for both of us. I know she really wanted this victory, really almost needed this victory, because she's in a playoff race with Dan and Ian in the Johto division, but I'm not letting my foot off the pedal because I would love to be able to go undefeated this season. Next week, I take on Brendan of the Cyndaquils, which should be a fun match. Come back next week to watch that one. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.